Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going over my Steam stats and updates for quarter 3. So one thing that I'm sure most of you guys know about by now is I love books. That's why we talk about them a lot on this channel, but I also love video games. And so for the last couple years now, I've also been going through and giving you sort of my Steam update, what I've been playing as well as what I've been reading. And it is now the end of quarter 3. Technically, quarter 3 is done. It is now the beginning of quarter 4, but that means we need to go through and give you the update of what I played during quarter 3. I do separate these videos by quarters instead of like how I do a wrap up for books every single month, because I don't play as many games as I do reading books. But yeah, we're gonna do some stats. I am going to be like ranking them as well, like I usually do, from like my favorite and my least favorite. So let's jump on in. Going into all of the stats, these are all taken basically from the spreadsheet that I used for books and just sort of repurposed for a spreadsheet that I used for games. So the first thing that I have here is the games started per month. I have two different like games per month stats that you guys will see here. The games started per month is how many games, like new ones, did I start that month. So in the month of July, I started 2 games. In the month of August, I started 4. And in the month of September, I started 2. Obviously, as you guys can see from this chart here, June was a little bit of an outlier. Like I usually don't start 7 games in one month, but I do think June was one of my lower reading months, and I did do a lot of gaming instead. But so like starting 2, 3, 4 games is pretty average for me per month. But then I also actually have how many games did I play in the month. And this is a completely different stat because the way that the books were done and the way that I read books is I usually try to finish a lot of things in the same month that I start. However, a lot of games are many hours long, longer than it would take me to read a book. And so a lot of the times I will start it and continue playing it through different months. And we will talk about that as well, obviously. But so for the games played per month, the stats are a little bit different. They're going to be higher, most likely, like always. So for July, I did play 4 games. For August, I played 5, and for September, I played 3. So again, I started some things, but I was obviously still playing through some other games as well, which we will talk about, but this makes sense. So we're gonna be going into the monthly stats. The first one I have here is it finished? So I do track this for all of the games that I've played this year, and I think out of the 26 games that I have played this year, 5 of them are unfinished. As of the 10 games that I have played this quarter that we will talk about, 6 of them are unfinished. Yeah, and part of that I do think is that I was playing some stuff like in July when we first started this quarter, and then my computer sort of stopped working, and so that definitely threw me off a little bit of things. And then I think I'm playing a couple things that are much bigger as well that are going to take me a while to actually like finish, so that'll be part of it. How I played the games. So for this quarter, I played 9 on my computer and 1 with a controller. I use my Backbone controller on my phone to stream from Steam anyway, but most of the games I've been playing purely on the computer. I have been tracking some representation in my games as well. So for this quarter, for the LGBTQ representation, there was 5 games that did not have any whatsoever, but this is also games that had characters in them that could have had LGBTQ representation, because there was also 1 that did not have any because it was not applicable. There was no like actual characters that could have had an identity, more like a puzzle game. There were 2 games where it was present but not the main character, and 2 games where it was the main character. I also track disability representation. There were 3 games where it was not present, but it could have been because there were characters, 1 game where it was not applicable at all, and 6 games where it was present but not the main character. Then I also track plus size representation. 3, it was absent, but they did have characters. 2 was not applicable, and one of them is because it was not a humanoid character, and I felt weird trying to assign something like that to an animal. But then I had 4 where it was present in the game, just not the main character, and 1 where it was the main character. And then I also tracked person of color representation. There was 4 where it was absent, not in the game at all. 2 where it was not applicable, because again, 1 was a puzzle game and 1 was an animal. And then 4 where it was present but not necessarily the main character. If I play games where you get to make your main character or headcanon a main character, I usually will only double check if it's present somewhere else, because that is 100% up to the person. And I will even make person of color characters, or, you know, plus sized or whatever it is, but like I want it to be like what is actually in the game. These are also a lot of the representations that I do actually track for books as well, so you will see that at the end of the year for all of my book stats. And then we're going to go into the star ratings. So the star ratings for this quarter, my average is 4.375, 4.38. That's actually pretty good. I have had some really good games that I've played this quarter. And so the lowest rating that I have is like a 3.5. I have 1 3.5, I have 2 4 stars, 3 4.5 stars, and 2 5-star games, which is great. Okay, and now we are actually going to go into the games that I played. I think for this and what I have been doing recently is just going in sort of like timeline order. What is the order of like when I started these games, etc. And so the first couple we're going to talk about are ones that I actually started in June but was still playing through July and August for some of them. The first one is Squeakross, which is a nonogram pie cross game where you actually get to create a little mouse. There is LGBTQ rep because you can also earn stickers as you do this, and there's a lot of like pride flag stickers, so I did count that. There's also disability representation because you can create your mouse however you want, and they can have missing limbs and ears and eyes and things as well, which I just thought was like such a good idea of having a little bit of that representation in that as well. However, it's a mouse, so I did not say that there was any person of color representation or plus size representation because it's a mouse. But I absolutely love this game. It is not finished for me yet because this is one of those ones that has hundreds of puzzles. You complete the puzzles and those are sort of like a catalog of furniture for your mouse's house. So like you will do a pie cross of like a couch, and then you can create how it looks in your mouse's house. You can furnish it. But like I said, hundreds of puzzles. I have absolutely been loving this one because I love nonogram pie cross games. I don't know when I'm going to finish it because it is huge. I did rate it 5 stars though, even though I did not finish it because I know I love it. The next one that I started in June that I continued playing through July, and then my computer stopped working and we had to get things fixed, and I did not go back to it yet, especially because I don't know if it saved my progress. We'll see. Is Lost Records Bloom and Rage Tape 2. The first tape came out in like April and I finished it in like 4 days because I was obsessed. Then it took like a month or so for the second half to come out, and it took me like another month to even pick it up in June. I have not finished it yet. This is one of those things where like I do love it while I'm playing it, but then sometimes it feels a little bit harder to jump back into. It is story-based, but it is also a little bit slow at points. There is this like sort of paranormal element to it, and we jump back and forth between like the 1980s or 1990s with these girls as teenagers, and then come back into like almost like more present day, like 2022, something like that, when they're reunited. And so I do like it. I think I gave the first tape 4.5 stars. I have not finished this one, and I don't think I've actually gotten too far into tape 2. So I did not rate it yet, but it is also not finished. I think I want to try and finish it by the end of the year. Otherwise, I'm going to just have it sitting on my Steam list, I guess, not on a shelf or anything, for too long. So that is something I do want to get back into. Now, everything else that we have here is going to be things that are brand new. We did not talk about them before because I started them this quarter. So the next one that I have is The Secret Order 2 Masked Intent. This is one of those hidden object games that I purchased quite a few of them like during a summer sale or something like that, where they were only like $2, $3, maybe $4. And I find that they end up being around 4 hours or so worth of playthrough time. So like maybe $1 per hour. I feel like that's a pretty good value for like time played. This is my least favorite so far though, of all the like hidden object games that I've played. This one I gave 3.5. Like, it was not bad. It was fine for the amount of money that I spent on it. However, I think these are normally like $15 to $20. I would never spend that much on a game like this. And the only reason I gave it like a 3.5, and I played it in July, so it's been a while since I've remembered this, but there was a couple like questionable choices for like characters. Like, they had an Asian character that had a very like stereotypical hat and mustache and the way that they talked and things like that. This also had like Uncanny Valley a little bit in the art style, which some things were good, some things were a little bit like, And I know, again, it's probably the product of its time. This game probably came out like in the really early 2000s. The hidden object puzzles were fine. This is technically Secret Order 2, and I don't think you can get the Secret Order 1 on Steam. So I don't know if I've missed any story. I didn't really feel like I missed any story. It was just not like my favorite of these type of games. Then the next one that I played was Endless Fables Frozen Path. I think this is Endless Fables 2. Again, another hidden object game. This one I liked much, much better. I gave it a 4.5 star. I don't know if any of these will ever get like a full 5 star, but again, for only spending $3 or $4 on it and getting 4 to 5 hours worth of content, I liked the puzzles in this one better. I liked the actual storyline better. The art style is better as well. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Pretty darn good. So yep, great. Then I played Drops of Death in August. I actually think I bought this like the day it came out and started playing it immediately. This one is a visual novel, romance type of one, but the mechanic of it is very, very intriguing. So basically you get to create your character. You could have a feminine body or a masculine body, and then you can choose whatever pronouns you want. So you can pick whatever body you want, and then you can be she, her, he, him, or they, them. So you get to like customize that, which I think is very nice, even if the sprites you have are there's only 2 main characters, but you can sort of change that a little bit. And then you have 4 characters that you can technically romance. 2 are women, 2 are men, and they all have different things going for them. One is your guy best friend in college. One is a girl who was on the swim team that you don't really know, but you meet her throughout the story. One is a detective, and then one is like a junior detective who has a crime blog on the side. And this is about a murder on campus. Someone killed some other people in like the gym swimming pool area that you were in. They tried to get you, they failed to get you, and you're continuing through this story. So you get to romance people, and one of them is the killer. The thing is, especially on your first playthrough, you don't know who that is. It is randomized. You don't know. After you've finished one playthrough, you can pick specifically who you want. And I will say I was playing through all of the routes of this. I did end up not finishing one of the romance routes because of my computer. I do want to go back and finish it. I am saying I have officially finished it, and I'm giving it 4.5 stars. I really, really did like this one. But especially after my first playthrough, which was almost perfect for me, I played through the routes again with like 3 of the main love interests, and you can technically romance the bad guy too, because it's supposed to be random. Like, you could accidentally be romancing the person who had tried to kill you before, which I think is just very, very intriguing. The reason it's not a full 5 star for me is that I did feel like some of the routes had less variation than others. So your best friend in college, Edwin, I loved his route. I loved the different variations that you have with that. The detective guy, Singh, I also really liked his relationship things as well. I just thought, again, lots of different variation. Swan, who is the younger detective with a blog, I thought hers were not as very well developed. There wasn't as many of them, not as many deviations as it could have. And I think, according to what I've seen before, she was a brand new character in this. This is a story that used to be like on itch.io, however you say that out loud, before, and it was only 3 characters that you could romance. And so Natasha and Edwin and Singh were the ones that you could romance previously. I was in the middle of doing Natasha stuff, got a couple different routes done when my computer crapped out. And so I did not get to finish all the different variations for her yet. I definitely want to do that, but because some of the things that you were going through just felt very, very repetitive. Like, I thought the guys, in my opinion, had better deviations, better routes, more of those things that you could discover than the girls. But again, I have not 100% gotten through all of Natasha's things yet. But I did really like it. I liked the mechanic of potentially romancing the killer. I thought that was really, really fun. Then I played through Rusty Lake Roots. I was playing a lot of the Rusty Lake games, like the Cube Escape things, last year. And so I was like, you know what, I haven't played in a while, those. And Rusty Lake Roots, I think, is like my favorite of the installments so far that I've played. I gave it 4.5 stars. These games are very like escape room puzzle-esque, very, very weird, very, very dark. But I think I liked this one a lot more because it had a bigger story that you could really see. Some of the games of these, they give you some story, but it's so random that like I have a hard time wrapping my head around exactly where it's supposed to fit in all this Rusty Lake lore. But I thought Rusty Lake Roots was easier to follow. It also was really, really huge. Like, it took a long time to do compared to a lot of the other games. And I think it was because it's like a huge, its own installment type of thing. I just really liked this one. So if you're getting into these, some of them are a little bit weird, some of them are not my favorite, but I did really, really like that one. I thought it had a really good story. Then I also played through Cube Escape The Cave. I gave that one a 4. Again, just not as good for me. It is shorter because it's one of the Cube Escape games versus like a full-on Rusty Lake, like big one. But I did think the puzzles for that were pretty good. There was a couple times I had to look up a hint because I really did not know where to go. And it was me missing that something had like changed. So my fault, but I thought it was a pretty good installment. I think the further I get into this series, the more it makes sense, which probably does help. I think some of the early ones in the series, I was like, I don't really know about this as much, but they're short and they're fun, and I think I got them on sale, so yeah. Still in August, I also played through Rusty Lake Paradise. This is another really big one. Technically, I played through this in August with a little bit left in September because of my computer situation. I ended up having to finish it in September. It did save all my progress, which makes me hopeful for the Lost Records Bloom and Rage thing, but this is another bigger one. You're following like one family on an island through the years. It didn't have as much of a story as Rusty Lake Roots, but it is chronological, and so I did find it easier to follow than some of the other things. This one had more puzzles that I was confused on. Not like too many overall. I did give this a 4-star. I do think it was still one of like the solid entries into this series. I'm very excited to see where we go from here. We still have some more stuff that I need to play through. But yeah, like, really good. Rusty Lake Roots, still my favorite. Then, moving into September, I played Andromeda 6. This one released in early access in September. I actually played the first couple chapters a few years ago on, what, itch.io? I really don't know how you say that out loud. I just read it all the time. And this is another visual novel, romance type of thing. It is sci-fi. It's almost like an Anastasia type of retelling. I absolutely love this one. I am obsessed. So the last time I played this, I think I played through like chapter 3 maybe. It is now up through chapter 9. Each chapter seems to get subsequently longer. There are supposed to be 10 chapters total. So like you're technically missing the end of the story right now, but for like $15, I want to say it is, and with like 6 main characters that you can romance. I played through currently, and this is including a little bit of October because I was playing it already still this month, 16 hours. I think I was up to like 12 hours, 12 point something hours by the end of September. And that was one character's route. One character. I started playing a second character. I'm still like on chapter 5, maybe chapter 6 with that character's route now. I absolutely love this series. I love the writing style. I love the characters. I love the art. I love the storyline. Like I said, it is sort of like a little Anastasia sci-fi thing. There's lots of like political things going on as well. I love the way everything is written. Very angsty, but very, very cute and lots of romance. And I'm obsessed. 100% obsessed. Like I said, this is technically early access. And I've only played through one character's route all the way through. And I'm almost 20 hours now getting into my second character. And I lied. There's not 6 characters you can romance, because now I'm looking at the thing. There's actually 7. There's 5 guys and 2 girls. You can technically pick your pronouns. Again, you can be she, her, he, him, they, them. I don't remember. I don't think they have any sort of body type that you pick, because of the fact that there is no sprite for you in this game, unlike the other one. But there are 3 different races of humanoids in this world, so you can be a human, you can be a Catalfin, which has like gills on them, or you can be Tillarin, which is like a blue-skinned different type of race. And there's different things, little things that like world building that go along with those. So again, I absolutely love this one. I am going to romance everyone. But again, currently there's no ending yet. But it is definitely worth the price point. I'm obsessed. It is going to take, this is such a big game. It is going to take me forever to like finish everything. And then the last one to talk about, oh, and I didn't finish Andromeda 6 technically. I say it's not finished, but I rated it 5 stars already because I love it. And then the last game that I played in September, we'll probably do more as well, is Mega Mosaic. This was very cheap that I got recently. Pretty much just a puzzle game. It's similar to Nonogram, Picross type of things. I've seen the mechanics of this before in other games, but I can't remember what this one is called. But basically you get numbers and it'll tell you like in a square of 9, and like the number would be in the middle, how many numbers around them are filled in versus not filled in. So like if the middle number of that 9 is a 0, none of them are filled in. If the middle is a 9, all of them are filled in. If it's an 8, one part would not be filled in. I did this listening to an audiobook in September, and it is huge. That's why it's Mega Mosaic. I literally played for almost an hour, 58 minutes, and I am like 3% completed. They have percentage achievements, and so for a while it's like 1%, 2%, 3%. I'm 3% finished at almost an hour into this game. It is purely just a puzzle game, but because of that, it was very easy to do while listening to an audiobook. So this is one that I'll probably pull out if I know I need to finish an audiobook, but I don't have like errands or chores to do. I can pull this out. Did not rate this one because I'm only 3% in, but it's very much just a puzzle game, things that I do like. So I will probably rate it quite high. We'll just sort of see as it goes. But that is the last game I actually played for this quarter. And yeah, favorite game for the quarter is 100% going to have to be Andromeda 6. 100%. Squeakross I did give 5 stars as well, but it's a puzzle game, and so when you compare a puzzle game, a Picross game, versus a story-based, especially one that is giving me all the emotions, obviously that is going to win. It's probably going to be one of my favorite games of the year, actually. Like, I absolutely love it so, so much. And that is going to be it for me today. Yeah, the next time you guys see me for Steam stuff, it'll be at the very end of the year where we do our like Steam stats. Steam actually has a thing where it releases almost like the Spotify Wrapped, where it'll tell you like all of your major stats. I have been playing Sims 4 as well. Sims 4 is not on Steam, so I don't have any stats for that. I should just like make a disclaimer every single time. Sims 4 has probably been played in this quarter as well, and it has, for sure. And in October, again, already as well. So yes, that is going to be it for me today. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!